Welcome, everybody. This is the Officers Committee, date 12/22/2022. Thank you. We have three guests at the current moment. Has everybody reviewed the minutes as presented? Are there any corrections to the minutes?
Motion to accept.
Yes, David?
If you could check on where I made about the insurance.
Yes.
I think there was one officer who voted no.
I'll check the recording.
Okay.
Or at the very least, maybe it was an abstain. If it was an abstain, then you would be almost correct. Thank you.
You're welcome. No other corrections? Okay. I'll entertain a motion to accept the minutes as amended. Should there be an amendment?
Move to accept.
Okay. All right, good to go. All right, next on the agenda. Phew. President's report. Meetings adjourned. No. Thanks, everybody, for coming. I want to thank Patricia for doing the work on Monday, getting the office set up. I think
Very nice.
it was nice, well attended. The volunteers need a little pat on the back sometimes, and I think you did an excellent job. I'll reserve any other comments until later on. Our treasurer, do we have a treasurer's report? Treasurer is absent, so no treasurer's report. Officers report, we'll start with Stuart.
A couple of things, mostly mundane, but the cold weather is coming upon us, and you all know what's going to fall out of the trees. And do we make arrangements to remove those iguanas if they?
We have a fellow that goes around the village twice a day, 6 days a week. And
Okay.
if there's any frozen ones, he'll deal with them. But just so everybody knows,
Okay, yeah.
what Stu's talking about, when we get a cold snap like this, the iguanas go into comas, they don't die. And sometimes people will take them and put them in their cars like they, then they wake up and start running around. So, yeah, we'll keep an eye out for that.
Okay, we've talked about this other thing before, changing the time from officers' meetings or meetings that start at 1 to at 12 o'clock, which is much more convenient for everybody. And this way they have a lot more time in the afternoon to do what they have to do. So in fact, we talked about it before.
Right, would you want to make a motion that the officers' meetings start at whatever time you wish?
Yeah, 12 o'clock would be.
Okay, so make a motion.
Since we're already, I'll make a motion
I'll second
that we, okay, there it is.
Are we talking about all meetings, Stu, or just this one?
Well, this one for sure.
Yeah, the officers' meeting.
Okay, so let's make it the officers' meeting and see how it works out. And if it works out without too much inconvenience for anybody else, we could do it with some of the other meetings.
Okay.
I would
And get it over
reconsider,
with earlier in the day since
I
we're
would
all here anyway.
reconsider transportation at 1:30, which is ridiculous. We get out of here so late. I don't know why it can't be
12:30.
earlier.
We can let that committee,
The reason for that was that some people that were on the committee take the bus.
I know, but that
They
no
couldn't get
longer
here, and they wouldn't
doesn't
be here.
happen anymore.
all right,
I
but
don't
I mean,
know.
obviously
That's
that's up to that committee.
Yes.
But if we're making it 1:30, what 12:30 serves the same purpose,
Yes,
right?
yes.
No, 12:30
No.
buses don't run.
Buses
Ah,
aren't
that's right.
running
Yep,
till 1.
right.
No, I don't know.
Wait a minute,
You-
the meeting is at 1 now, correct?
No,
No,
it's at
1:30.
1:30.
Oh, it's.
For the bus riders.
Yeah, and nobody's riding the bus to come here that I can see.
Well, if it's at the half hour and they're getting here, if they want to be here, they certainly could. do
Well,
it.
it's up to you.
Well, let's
Yeah.
do it for the offices because we're here.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And then we could go ahead and make the adjustments
Mhm.
for other meetings if this is if it works, you know?
Mhm.
Patricia,
Okay.
you could discuss transportation with your committee at the committee meeting, see what they wanna do.
Right.
Absolutely.
Motion made to start officers meeting at 12,
Right,
starting in January of 2023. The motion made was by Stuart and it was seconded by Patricia.
correct.
Okay, so we'll go down, Dominic.
You want to call it?
The basic thing that I see as barcodes are exploding. We're doing so many. And we have problems with just a few,
Right,
and it's being resolved, right?
well, I'm working on it.
Working.
Well, there was a motion made to start the officers meeting in January at 12 o'clock rather than, so Stuart made the motion, it was seconded.
Okay,
Are you in favor of
I'm
that?
in favor.
All right, so Dominic is a yes. Stuart Richland,
Yes,
yes.
yes.
Patricia Caputo.
Yes,
Bob Rivera,
Sure.
Joanne Robinson,
yes.
good, and I'm a yes. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 yeses, 0 nos. Motion passes. Thank you. All right,
Who's next?
Dominic,
I have nothing. There's not much up here left. I don't know.
have you thought of a wig?
Let it pass.
Okay.
I just wanted to ask you a
Yes.
question about the barcodes, because you had mentioned it. There was a batch that was,
I'm working on it. I'll bring everybody up to snuff, so
okay,
we know.
maybe that explains why people were coming in with the
Yeah,
30,000 number.
yeah.
Okay.
So anything else, Dominic, that you want to discuss? All right, Patricia.
It was brought to my attention that in investigations, there are at least two individuals that just confuse the matters and make more work for the other ladies. So I think perhaps we should look for additional people, train them and see. One has been there over a year and still has to be told every week what to do. I mean, she even calls me all the time. My computer's not working. I said, just hit the button like I showed you and it'll go on. So there's a problem. Most of the ladies are working very hard and these two are kind of, they have to reasonably work. So I wanted to bring that up. That's number one. Number two, I agree with Stuart. I think a lot of meetings should be at noon because most people go home, they have lunch, they come back. It's annoying. You're here already. You're here already. So perhaps we should discuss with the other groups about changing meetings to 12. If they can get to a 1:30 meeting, they can get to a 12. Take 11 o'clock bus. I'm riding the buses now and I get to places early. I wait, you know. So that's all I have to say.
Did we vote on officers?
We did, it
Okay,
passed,
good deal.
it passed. So we started off go ahead, Bob.
Okay, the only problem with that is we close at 12, right? And if you have a meeting at 12 and it's not here, that's gonna be a problem because we have
It's
to
here,
take the time to get
but
it.
it is
Well,
here.
that's why,
But people come early now. How many times I was sitting out front and they were here, I said, can I help you? I'm here for a meeting. I said, you're about a half hour
So
early.
meetings that are elsewhere are operations, executive board.
right,
That's it, right?
That's it here.
And we would have those are at different times anyway.
right, they're different.
But
Executive is
we
at
would want-
10.
We would definitely want to keep those meetings. I would say that 12 o'clock for any meetings held in the boardroom.
There's only one other.
Well,
There's only one other meeting.
And it's here anyway.
The operations.
we had
No, that's-
the motion that Stuart made, hold on, I see you. The motion that Stuart made was just for the
Right,
officers
I understand
to
that,
see if it works out for us.
right.
If it doesn't work out, then the officers can change. But each committee head has its meeting. We'll inform the heads of that committee and say, listen, we've changed our time schedule. Do you guys want to change it or don't want to change it? Like Donald said, it's up to the chair of that committee. Who's in transportation? We moved it to 1:30 because there was no buses running and people couldn't make it. That may or may not be the case. There might be different people on the committee.
Keeping in mind that 8 members of every committee are you guys, the officers, so.
Anything else, Bob? No. All right,
You answered it. We'll try it, and you will try it and see.
okay.
Excuse me.
Nothing else, Patricia?
No, that's it.
Okay,
Okay. my turn.
huh?
Now my turn. I got skipped.
No, you-
Go ahead.
Okay, I noticed here that you got an engineering services agreement going.
We don't have anything going yet, Bob, and that's gonna be addressed further down the agenda.
I understand that, all right. What I would like to see is to get an engineering report for the speed tables. All right, I'd like to make a motion that we,
Did we do that?
no, we haven't.
No,
I'd like to make a motion that we get an engineering report to evaluate the possibilities of putting in speed tables, either 2 or 4 on each side, meaning north, south, east, west.
Motion is to hire an engineer
okay. I
to
got
do
a
a civil
motion
engineering study.
To,
Wait, just wait.
As per required by
Wait to see if there's a second, Patricia.
whoever.
No, I just want to make a statement. What did we vote on the last time? Wasn't that the exact same thing?
No,
It's an
And we
acquisition.
didn't have a second?
that was the bids, that was bids
Those are
committee.
bids.
That was the
Okay,
bids, the
that's all my
offices.
question is, okay,
Hire engineer
okay.
for DOT road study.
Yeah, it works. Speed tables.
Completion of speed
and I would appreciate a second so we can discuss this.
tables. Okay, to hire an engineer for a DOT road study for the addition of speed tables or speed bumps.
No, speed table, not
Yes.
bumps,
No bumps.
not bumps.
I would abbreviate it to say civil engineering study for the purpose of traffic calming devices. We don't get to decide bumps or tables. That's kind of an engineer's call. I think you got it down pretty good.
All right, the addition of,
That covers the whole ball of wax.
what are we gonna put, the speed calming devices?
They're called traffic calming devices.
Traffic calming.
To say speed tables is jumping the gun.
All right. On perimeter roads. Sure. All right, the motion was made by Bob. Is there a second on the motion?
I'll second it.
Stewart seconds the motion. Okay, any discussion?
Yes.
Yes.
We may pass with the ability to put them in, but the sheriff has said that if you put them in, we pull out
There
our.
might be ramifications, yeah.
And- and-
We're aware of that.
But the reason being, if you have a speed bump, you have somebody go slow, jumps over the speed bump and escalates his speed to make up for the lost time. That's only one thing.
From my understanding, reading the agreement with PBSO,
Yes.
if we were to have an engineer and we were be able to do that, we would have to notify the sheriff's department and say, listen, we're considering doing this. We now need a new contract with them to service the perimeter roads, and they may say yes or no. So it's
Possibly,
not, it's not a definite,
No.
even we could spend all the money, but it doesn't matter. Yes,
The fire department, do they, emergency, do they come in?
it has nothing to do. We have a roadway agreement with the sheriff's department for the perimeter roads. That's the agreement that allows them to come in and give speeding tickets. Nothing to do with the fire department, nothing to do with the ambulance. That's the agreement that we have specifically with PBSO.
What I'm asking is, will the ambulance, fire department come in the entrances?
We're not in a,
I've heard that.
we're not in a position to answer that because we don't know.
Okay.
We don't know.
Can I go-
I honestly, let me finish. I honestly can't see an ambulance refusing a 911 call. Okay? But that's because it's an emergency and they gotta come in whether the roads are there or not.
Right.
Go ahead.
Just so the officers understand, we are currently working under a civil engineering study that was done prior to signing the agreement with PBSO. That civil engineer specifically said, now, he didn't say speed tables, he said speed bumps. Speed bumps tables weren't even invented yet. But he was very specific, they would need to go. And they were here, when I was a kid, we had them and they were removed. And he gave very specific reasons why. Studies have shown that speed calming devices like speed bumps and speed tables tend to cause higher speeds in between the devices, raising the mean, basically it's self-defeating. The people will drive faster anyway because they're trying to make up the
Lost time.
will a different or a new civil engineer give a different opinion? I don't know. Remember, these guys work off a manual. And the manual hasn't changed greatly since the last study was done. Some of these opinions, they're not really opinions. They're just straight from a federally issued manual.
Okay, is there any more discussion on this?
Yeah,
Yes.
well, she's got her hand up.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I just am curious, what does it cost
We don't know.
We don't know.
to do a study?
Well, and we have to start somewhere, so the motion is made by the officers to go out and get a quote from an engineer to
Okay,
come in.
because I don't think it's worded that way.
Well,
It's to get an engineer,
to hire, okay, so, all
but I
right,
don't want to vote for
to,
something
all
that,
right,
it's a blank check the way. it's written.
to,
I don't want to spend $100,000 for an
To-
engineer to come
how
in
about?
and tell us, sorry, we don't really need anything. Or maybe
Well-
we need, $5,000.
It
worth of
doesn't
stuff.
cost that much.
What he just stated was that the previous engineering report was done before we had the agreement with the police department.
Right.
So it's obviously been many years, because the police department has been here since I've been in. So it needs to be updated,
I would just like to
so
know
that
what it
we would.
costs.
Okay, so I reverted it. See me if we're covered. I see your hand. Get an estimate from an engineer
Okay,
for a DOT road study, addition of speed calming devices on perimeter roads. Does that make everybody happy?
Yeah.
That's satisfactory.
yes,
Okay,
makes
All
no
right.
sense.
Bob, that's good with you? That amendment is
Yeah.
okay?
That
Okay.
amendment's okay.
All right, just so the committee understands, we don't know how much the study will cost. If the study exceeds $10,000, it's going to go to the delegate assembly and executive board, the whole 9 yards.
but we gotta get bids. It has to go through bids.
Typically, professional services like engineers don't require competitive bidding. It's like, you wouldn't competitively bid your doctor, you go by referrals. There's nothing keeping us from using the same Simmons and White, we
Whatever.
always use.
Whatever.
The problem, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, Ruth.
No, all I wanted to say was, in a recent meeting, I remember a figure of at least $10,000 for a study. That was said very recently, and I think it was about this.
Yeah, that was me. I'll backtrack it a bit, Ruth. That's what I'm guessing,
Okay,
but I really don't know.
okay,
And
I
also,
thought you
remember
said
this,
25.
even if it doesn't exceed $10,000, it's the president's prerogative to take it to the delegate assembly anyway, and I suspect he would in this case.
okay.
Well, we need-
Well, the price that I remember you stating was 25,000
Not would be-
I don't
No,
know.
I can't imagine it would be that high, Bob.
and the reason I think we need this is because the speeding problem here are getting ridiculous, all right? People passing on the roads and speeding, and somebody's gonna get killed. And when somebody gets killed, they're gonna not only go after the person that hit them, they're gonna go after us for not having these things. We need to do something about this,
So
all right?
here's my response, Bob, and I've given this a lot of thought. I'm not just shooting from the hip. And I get quite a few people coming in complaining, this place needs a stop sign, this one should, but we need to do something. There's a difference between a perceived danger and actual problems. How many people have been mowed over by cars? How many vehicular accidents have we had? The answer is, it's so few that I can talk about them as individual cases. The last person I know that got hit by a car was a little girl 3 years ago at the Plymouth Laundry.
I remember.
All of us see somebody driving like an asshole, making a turn on two wheels, passing on double yellow lines because they're freaks. And we all say, Jesus, someone's gonna get killed one of these
Right.
days, but one of these days doesn't
Well,
happen.
how about,
And that's the difference, for spending a lot of money, is it a real problem?
what you're skipping out on and avoiding is, all right, we've had police reports in this past year
Sure.
of hit and runs.
I don't remember hitting.
Not pedestrian hit and runs.
Not pedestrian.
You kidding me? We'd be all over that.
But-
Somebody dumped in somebody's car and then somebody reporting, somebody hit my car, yeah, that's what it is.
There's a valid motion.
Yeah.
But let's see if the officers go forward, then we'll get an estimate of what it would cost, and then it's gotta come back.
Yeah.
Okay?
And we'll make a
Yeah, we'll
determination,
make it-
Determine whatever.
find out whether the cost is worth the,
Exactly.
And
Exactly.
in the meantime, we need
Okay.
to talk to the sheriff's department that we're contemplating doing this, and would that affect the roadway agreement that we have with them?
Fausto, I wouldn't take that step until you
Right,
hire the engineer.
Exactly. Yeah,
Well, my thought is very simple. If the engineer study is $10,000 and PBSO says if you put them in, we're not coming in,
Yeah.
the $10,000 is a waste of money. I'm trying to prevent that.
My
from
my
being-
memory of the agreement, and it's been a while since I've read the agreement between
Right.
us and PBSO, is that the roads they patrol must be to Florida DOT
I
standards.
understand.
And if these tables meet that standard, I think that'll be all right.
Again, but we're guessing.
Well, yes, but I'm pretty sure.
That was signed, 30 years ago, if I remember, close to 25 to
It's-
30 years ago.
Yeah.
So there's nothing wrong with asking them and saying,
Getting updated.
just
doesn't
get,
cost you
you
any
know,
money.
we're trying to update our,
Stuff.
I'm just saying, I don't wanna spend $10,000 or $5,000 or $1,000, and they say, well, wait a minute, you put those in, we're not coming in here. Now we're faced with a dilemma. We wasted unit owners' money on
Well,
something that,
It doesn't cost us anything
to
to ask
ask a question.
Here's
the lieutenant at the next
Right.
security meeting.
here's
Exactly.
my
He's
proposal.
asking.
Besides that, okay? I'm willing to go to meet with the fire department and the head of the fire department, the chief, and the chief of the sheriff's department, or the sheriff. All right, and ask them specifically about this and get an answer. If they both say no, then I will drop it completely.
It's up to you, Bob.
Is that-
Go ahead.
Does that work with everyone?
Can we call the?
Yeah,
vote?
sure.
Okay.
Are we done with the discussion? Any more
Let's just
discussion?
call it.
Cool.
Okay, Bob Rivera,
Yes.
okay. Joanne Robinson,
Yes.
Patricia Caputa,
Yes.
Stuart Ritchie,
Yes.
Dominic Garnaja.
Yes.
Okay, let me guess. 6 in favor, 0 against.
Thank you.
Okay, here's my direction I just heard.
Yeah.
I will contact an engineering firm. I will ask the engineer to give us a quote, just like I did with the one I'm about to show you.
Yep,
Right,
Okay?
right. That's it.
I will bring it to the next officers meeting
okay,
for another vote.
for another vote, yeah, at that point,
That's
yep,
it.
okay.
I want to thank everyone.
no problem.
All right.
All right, I'm gonna do the last, I contacted today, the company that we get our barcodes from.
They got back to you?
No, they didn't, because they didn't even bother reading their email, but I did get their phone number and I did call them. And after I brought it to her attention that we sent them an email, she said, oh, let me look at my computer. And she found the email an hour and a half later. I brought to their attention, I went back from today to the middle of November. I went in your drawer and I pulled out all the files. We have replaced 6 barcodes for non-working. And it seems to be, the numbers are like consecutive or skipping one, but we're getting a lot of issues with that. And what I'm asking you guys, if you save the stickers that we take off. Because I spoke to Chris and Chris said that if we have the sticker itself, he's gonna send it back to them and want credit. I mean, those stickers are costing us $5. We've already done away with $30, plus all the extra work that these people are coming. You guys know, it doesn't work. I works here, it doesn't work there. We shouldn't have to, and it seems to be within the last batch of 100, after the 3,300 number. They all seem to be 3,304, 5, 6, 7, 9. The last, they're in that realm.
So you think it's a defective batch?
It could very well be a defective batch, but the other thing that was bought, normally we ordered 500 barcodes or 600 at a time. Okay, I was informed I can only order 100 at a time and they will ship it to us when it's available. They're having a shortage on material. Okay, so now if we start, again, the packages are 100, and if I gotta replace 10 of them out of 100 because they're no good, it cuts back on the work that we have. I mean, it took, Chris ordered 2 weeks ago, and I just got 100 last week. So I'm trying to keep control of it. I gotta stay on top of it. I did talk to the lady, she is working on it. I gave her the 6 from the November the 14th, 15th to now. I gave her 6 barcode numbers that I had to replace, and I'm sure there's more. Yes,
Visually, there's
Right.
no notice.
Right.
You can look at it and say, geez, this is.
right. They all look good. Okay, now we did have 1 or 2 that for some reason were placed too far back. Or I found one that you saw was like on an angle, but it should still read it. It doesn't matter. I'm just saying that since there's a shortage of material, I don't want to have to be telling people that I don't have barcodes to put on the card. And there's no reason. I mean, you might have 500, you have 1 bad one. And now in the last 200, we've gotten 6 bad ones.
So what's your
Yes.
suggestion to rectify that?
Well, I'm on the phone. I placed a phone call, an email has been set. I have gone through your records for the last month. I pulled out all the barcodes that we had to replace. Okay, I've contacted Chris. I let him know that from now on, I only have 1 barcode that was saved. I'm going to keep those and I want him to charge the company back. I want him to give us credit for those barcodes.
Pastor, just so you know, there are other sources for
It's
those
just
barcodes.
Yeah, well,
If it comes to that, let me know.
yes, I'm just,
Yeah.
well, I was made aware when I told Chris, when we got down to the last 200 and I opened up the last pack, I said, I need you to order more. And he came back and said, there's a shortage on material. They will only send us 100 at a time when they're available. So,
So maybe you should look
Okay.
around for another company.
well, if we have, it's good to know, maybe Chris, yes, Bob,
Just, so you know, these barcodes, I believe that they're generic, all right, as far as the code itself,
Exactly.
all right? That can be done at any local silk screening place. All right, so you may want to consider that. And it may come out cheaper.
I have another vendor.
okay, well, I just want to make everybody aware of it, because it's annoying to all the officers that are here that are trying to put the barcodes on.
Right,
Drives the girls crazy. The guy was in here today, he's been here 5 times. And they replaced his barcode yesterday and today it doesn't work. So, it's crazy.
we used, well, that was for the other thing.
That was, yeah,
Can we get one of the barcode things over here so we could test it before?
I don't think that'll work because they cannibalize that equipment outside to repair. I don't even know if they can get
We
any
used to
parts
do it with the
with
transponders.
yeah. Right, but the issue, I've been there. They're trying to go through there at 25 miles an hour. People are, if they go right up on the curb, for some reason, if it's too close, it may not read it. But the few that I've stayed out there, I watch them go through and they're pulling up at 25 miles an hour.
I mean,
They're ready to hit the bar
I go-
before the thing reads.
I go through that thing on my motorcycle where I was told it would not read it if it was in the position I put it in, and I put it on the side of one of my bags. And it works fine every time. Now,
Again,
if someone came through here and they own, say, like I used to have, a Triumph Spitfire, all right, which is a very low car.
yeah, it still
And I
reads it,
stuck it on a window there, it would still see it,
absolutely.
all right?
Absolutely, but it's a multiple of issues. The speeding is one part, and I think that some of these barcodes are just effective. But I just want to make everybody aware, we're working
You got
on,
another issue
if-
on, in very wet weather, moisture gets in the bread box. And that fogs the
The lens.
screen, the lens. So they take it apart, they wipe it out, they throw a couple of desiccant packs in it, and it usually fixes it to.
There might be another solution as far as people speeding through there, which, and I know we're gonna hate this because I'm coming up with something that didn't work last time. You know, those rumble strips you put at that one place that they tore up?
Mhm.
Maybe we can put those at the gate. They're not gonna tear them up in front of a security guard.
Okay.
But if you put them in front of the gate, that'll slow them down a bit. Possible. And either that or just, rather than put those strips up, put grooves in, right into the ground. Into the
No, that's
street.
not a good idea.
all right. That's all I have to say. Next on the agenda is our CAM report.
Oh,
Donald, you're up.
all right, guys, last week I told you I was fit to be tired about the 2 projects that have been hanging up. Looks like we've made some progress in the past week. I'd say we're about 2 weeks out from getting permits on those 2 jobs, and then they'll have to be scheduled. So finally, some progress. Tomorrow is my wife's birthday. I'm gonna take the entire day off.
What a nerve.
He's still hot.
No half days, whole day.
He's still.
All right, I could go right into the engineer if you want,
That's
Let's
whatever,
just do it.
your report, your time.
Because I don't see anybody here to talk about the election, so I don't think you're gonna be able to.
I want to talk about one little thing.
Well, we can get to that.
All right,
But,
do that first.
The 2 fellows that we invited
Oh.
aren't here, so
Oh, okay.
I can't really speak to it.
Okay.
All right, okay, so what I have in front of you is an engineering services agreement for 5400 Fairway Street. As I explained to you guys last week, we have had, over the past year, repeated complaints from the tenant and the tenant's employees of mold in that building. Our first thought that it was based in the air conditioning system.
Oh.
We had the ducts checked twice, no mold, but we did treat the ducts with moldicide product. Another thought was that some interior walls that were added after they took possession of the building may be obstructing airflow. We're at the point now where it's just, I don't know what's causing the mold. I took Dominic and Patricia there last week. Wasn't seeing anything coming out of the ducts, but we did see some mold on some chairs and the chair armrest. So I think, given the potential liability that we look at here as a landlord and to our tenant, and also to the tenant, to their employees, because this is an OSHA thing, I think it would be wise for us to do an engineering study, have testing done, and try to figure out what's causing this problem. Is it moisture coming out of the ground? It woke me up one day, we pulled 2 big trees out of there over the last year. Maybe we disturbed the pipe. I don't know. Given like I said, given the potential liability, $2,500, I think is a prudent expenditure. I did discuss this with Dave and he agreed. So that's what I have in front of you. Basically, I'm gonna tell Shalia, get in there and try to figure out this problem for us. And if there is no problem, then we'll have an engineer say there is no problem. Remember, that building was not designed originally to be an office building. It's kind of a converted thing. There's no vestibule. Basically, when you open the front door, all of Florida it's like the guardhouse. Just wasn't originally designed to be what it is. Yes, Don?
Is it closed on Saturday and Sunday?
Yes,
Yeah,
So there's the opportunity for the air conditioning system to be quiet and not be sufficient to move all of the.
right. And when you and I and Patricia were there the other day, they didn't even have the air conditioning on.
That's
all.
correct.
You're
Because
right,
it's
so-
cold, you know? So, like I said,
Maybe that's the cause.
we don't know,
Maybe, I
you
said.
know?
yeah, that's,
When
Like I
they-
said, if this was our building, it would be a little different if we were in it, but being that we have a tenant in there, and that tenant in turn has employees, there's a real chain of liability there. And mold's nothing to mess around with.
of course.
So, I mean, we didn't see any black walls, there's no obvious smell as you come in, but we did see it. So that's what I have in front of you as a proposal. It's $2,500. Would somebody please make a motion?
I'll make the motion to accept Chevalier, is it?
Shalair and Associates.
Chevalier and Associates
Who's gonna second it?
I will.
for 25.
Stuart?
Finish the motion.
Like, you heard my spiel, so if you guys have any questions for me or discussion amongst yourselves?
The amount you said was 2,500?
Yeah,
Let me
one
finish the
inspection
motion.
and investigation report regarding the possible mold issue, a fixed fee of $2,500.
Right,
Okay,
Right?
okay.
now I'm gonna ask you a question.
Who second- who
We have a
seconded?
motion, Patricia made to have Shalair Associates check why mold issues are occurring at 5,400 Fairway Street. Amount of $2,500 is being requested.
No. You don't, if I may,
Again, but I don't,
we didn't say there's an actual mold issue there. I would just say to investigate
Possible.
possible mold. We don't want to have anybody come back and sue
Well,
us.
It's in the proposal, one inspection and
Yeah.
investigation report regarding the possible mold issue.
Possible. Okay, but I like to have, I work for Lloyd's. I like to have the word possible in.
It's in.
no problem, that's why I'm reading it.
Okay,
That building was originally supposed to be the reporter building.
yeah, it wasn't really good. for
All
me.
right,
And I
To have Shalair Associate check why possible mold issues are occurring at 5,400 Fairway Street in the amount of $2,500.
Okay.
Does that cover everybody? Everybody happy?
All right.
Patricia made the motions. Is there any discussion on it?
Who seconded?
Stewart seconded the motion.
Okay.
Okay?
Mhm.
No discussion?
No, we.
Good, I have a question. I told you to put a dehumidifier in there, did you?
No,
Should have one in there.
I didn't get to it yet.
I know, I'm just saying, because that would help.
I own some dehumidifiers.
I know,
for my
you told me.
house. I haven't located them yet.
Okay.
When I do, and I have a moment to get over there, I'll get over there.
Okay, no, because I know the idea is, if
Next,
that thing is filling up with a gallon of water a day, the moisture's coming from somewhere. It'd be a good indication, and it might be coming, like you said, from the ground or whatever.
I mean, there's no place on this state where I wouldn't plug in a dehumidifier and it wouldn't be full of water. Jesus.
Into the attic of that building?
There's no attic.
Attic's a bit of a problem, and it's part of the reason I've recommended that we do this study. When this building was converted to an office building, the attic was built out of the existing roof line. What would you say, 5 on 12 on a pitch?
Yeah, you can climb it yourself,
Well, here's the problem.
either a 412 or a 512.
Yeah, it's pretty shallow roof. Point is, when the owner turned this over to us, no attic hatch was provided. There was no way for us to get into the attic. How this passed inspection is beyond me, but there it is. We attempted to put in an attic hatch in several places along the center line, and we found nothing but obstructions. There's the ductwork's very tightly packed in there, the joist, so we're not sure how that can be, and that's another reason I want Shalair in there. I want them to give us an idea where we can put an attic hatch so that Airco can get in there and service the ductwork, which is gonna happen every once in a while. Airco wants to get in there and seal up all the seams on the ductwork because he thinks part of the problem might be that it's sucking in dirt, dust, and that's coming out the grills, and maybe that's making people think that there's mold.
There's a lack of circulation.
Right, we looked
Patricia?
at the,
You wanted to say something?
Would you suggest a hatch like on the outside? I don't know how, but.
well, we did, we thought of gable end hatches, like I put on my little house upstate, but there are no gable ends. The roof is so shallow that
Okay, I got it.
is kind of not there.
Okay.
So that's what engineers figured this
I
stuff
got
out
that.
for us.
Mhm.
Any more discussion? Call for a vote? Okay, Joanne Robbins,
Yes.
Bob Rivera,
Abstain.
Patricia Caputa,
Yes,
Stuart Richland,
Yes,
Dominic Garnagia.
Yes.
I'm a yes, so it's 5 yeses, one
One abstention.
motion passes.
Thanks, I'll get on this right away.
okay.
You want me to sign?
Yeah. No more screws under my feet.
Anything else?
Yeah.
Do you have anything else?
Nah, that's all I got today, but Merry Christmas and Happy Hanukkah. everyone.
Yes, you too. When are you leaving?
Okay. In New York, I'm leaving Saturday morning.
All right, Ms. Ruth, do you have anything that you wish to bring forward to
I
this
do.
elite group?
I want to bring two things. I'll put the paper second. The first thing I want to bring forward is this bus to the fairgrounds.
Mhm.
We told Omar we wanted a bus at the Transportation Committee, wanted a bus on the Monday, the correct Monday, which has been established as January 23rd, from 12 to 5. Since then, and I wrote you an email, Patricia,
I'm listening.
since then, Phyllis, whatever her name is, Eidman,
Simon,
can't make head or tails of what she wants. She's talking 11:30 to 5. I said, and she wants it in the paper. I have no problem. I can still squeeze it in, but I have no concrete information of whether or not we're going to have it. Melissa won't do a poster because she didn't tell her the correct information. She didn't tell me. I'm not going to put in something that's
can't.
wrong now.
Melissa
it's-
should be taking that from the committee chair.
right, not from her.
Whatever the case may be, my point being, if it's not advertised, why would you put a bus out that day? It's costing us money for nothing if nobody knows about it. That's all I want to tell you.
Okay.
We could settle this right now.
Do you want me
Look it
to
up.
Okay.
respond?
Well,
What?
no, you looked it up. It's the 23rd.
Yeah, I know, I
But,
told you.
but the
that. Monday,
time,
Where's this bus going
but the
to?
time,
The
we have,
fairground.
we have to tell Omar what the
State
time.
fair?
It's
State fair.
11, yeah, it's senior day. It's senior day. That's the point.
What you're looking for is the start time. Sounds like, that's what I heard.
Starts at 12
Right.
o'clock.
Well, that's what we said.
The
She's,
25th, and you said the 23rd.
it's a Monday. It's
Okay,
definitely
so
the
it's the 25th.
It's not the
23rd.
last Monday of
It's
the
the
month.
23rd?
It's the 23rd, yeah.
23rd. She called and she got that date, so that we know. What I
Okay.
want is written information immediately, because I'll talk about the paper in a minute. That's what I need if this thing is going to be published. And I can tell Melissa to do the same thing in the lobby so that enough people will see it.
Why did she want it at 11? Did she give you? a reason?
11:30? I don't know,
And why is Phyllis Zeidman all of a sudden? in charge of
because she
it?
made the call to get the date.
May I make a
don't know.
suggestion?
Yes.
Yeah,
Melissa is doesn't know who should be giving her direction.
Okay.
Can we all agree that the chair of the committee should be the only point of
Absolutely
contact?
fine, yes. I
Go
don't
to the
care.
newspaper and
Yeah.
to, you know.
I don't care who does it. I just want the right information, but
Can you give us his
immediately.
email, please?
I have to
doing it
get
now.
it right away.
Almost there.
Okay.
20, 21, 22.
Okay.
But you got something going on every day.
Mm.
Is
Now, did
that-
we voted on from noon at the meeting the last time? I have to look at. the-
Well, she had the wrong date. First of all, she said it was the last Monday, and it wasn't,
Whatever
it's the
she's-
23rd.
But
Yeah.
at that time of the transportation meeting.
We said
people
from
agreed-
12 to 5, but then
Yeah.
she came back and she wants the bus to leave here at
For
11:30.
whatever
So
her reason.
people could be there at 12 o'clock when the doors open up.
You said 11:30, she said 11, you know.
No, I didn't say 11. No,
She
no.
said that,
was-
Phyllis said 11.
Phyllis said
11:30.
11:30.
Okay,
We said 12 to 5.
this is what I find the problem. Okay, sorry.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
It's okay. I'm thinking 11 to 5, that's 6 hours.
Huh.
You have people with little bladders.
No, this is gonna be a roll.
No, this is
No,
a.
no, no, no.
Once an hour,
No.
Drop 'em
The
off.
buses run every hour.
Yeah.
They go there,
One
they
an
pick them
hour.
up and bring them back.
Last pickup is at
5
5,
o'clock.
so if you're not ready to go, you
The
gotta
doors
find your
open
own
at
way
noon?
home.
That's what I was told, yes.
Doors open at
Okay.
noon.
So you're talking about buses going out there,
On the hour.
On the hour.
Yeah.
There's 5 buses going, 5 buses coming back.
Right,
And they have restrooms now.
yeah.
I've used them.
David, you had your hand up.
I don't think we specified it, we did not designate a time. All I said, I brought it up, that the last time you went, the bus was there and had to wait outside a half an hour before they could get in. So if they can't get into 12 o'clock, it makes sense to leave at 11:30 so they can get in there. If they leave here at 11:30, it probably takes them, I don't know,
20 minutes to
25
get there, yeah.
Sure.
So that makes sense. So if they're at 12, then the next bus leaves here at 12:30. And then and the last bus coming back is fine. So if that's the case, 11:30 sort of makes sense to me, that that's the time that they want to leave.
Yeah, and it says here, senior day is Monday, January 23rd, mission free for seniors from noon to 4 PM.
Oh, still, I have to leave.
All right, Thank you.
Is it a matter of me
Vice Chair.
saying yes or no right now, or do I have to ask the committee?
What is it, from noon to 4 p.m.?
Administratively, take care of it. I'm sending you Melissa's,
So we'll do it right now, just, I mean, as far as I'm concerned, I was going to say I'm for 11:30 because they'll get there by 10 to 12. By the time people get off the bus, I have no objection to that. I was just asking, but he just finished, do I need to
But
present
you
it to
should
all?
word it correctly that you don't bring the last bus in at 5. The last bus goes out at 5. So 4 o'clock would be the last time that they should go.
Okay,
I just sent you Melissa's email address. You can communicate with her directly.
okay, so 11:30 and be at the bus spot like we do, stop at a certain time. If you're not there, you're gonna walk.
Did you say that the last, it only goes till 4 o'clock?
Yes,
Free admission is till 4.
admission,
After that,
that's,
I'll pay $5.
that's important.
okay, now,
But here's my point. Let's go further on this. No one's gonna go from here, so why don't you make the last pickup at 4 o'clock instead of 5 o'clock?
that makes sense.
Because we're not going, how many people are gonna pay and then for an hour and come back?
Just so that.
That's my thought on it.
So, but instead of making it from 11:30 to 5,
11:30
started
to,
to 4.
11:30.
I know that, no.
Last
I'm-
bus back is 4 o'clock.
our
Yeah.
last bus back is.
That's what I,
Yeah,
that's
okay.
last bus
what I
back.
said.
All right, Patricia, can I also make a suggestion that you, I'll take you down there, introduce yourself to Melissa,
Okay,
tell her that you are the committee chair, and
okay,
that she shouldn't take any direction from anyone else,
okay,
without naming names,
no problem.
all right?
You tell her what
when you-
you should put
when
on
you
the.
word it, then you're gonna say that it's gonna be, the first bus departs the main clubhouse
Yeah,
at 11:30.
11:30.
All right, and then coming back.
The last
the
one will
last
be.
be-
bus Departs
Right,
at
4 o'clock.
right,
Right.
that's basically.
That's what she's asking, what to put in the paper.
Yes,
That's.
But if you got people that, I mean, they take the bus over there and they, have a good time or whatever, and stay past 4 o'clock.
And they're on their own to
They're
get
on-
home.
That's what Uber's for.
Make me up a little poster, email it to me, and I'll ask Greg to squeeze it in. And then if we're finished with that, I'll get to the paper because,
I'd like to suggest one thing on that, because if you get somebody that goes to the fair, say they leave here at 2 and they stay past 4 o'clock,
they have to find their own way home.
why don't we have one bus that goes there
no,
to pick up from there at 6 o'clock?
No,
no,
no.
absolutely not. Why should we
Money.
spend that money? Rules are rules. If people don't want to get up early and go, then they don't want to go. They're offering us free. And I'm certainly gonna be on the bus by 11:30. I don't think that we should have to lay out money for 1 or 2 people. That's not important.
I'm good for 2 hours, that place max.
No, I don't want to go for 4 hours myself.
I'll
But
put
thank
on
you for the
rides.
suggestion.
No, I'm just looking out for somebody that might.
I got you, but you know what? If I'm late to somewhere and I have to, I take Uber.
The idea of having a bus is that certain people don't have transportation, and
Right.
rather than
Understood.
limiting them, if somebody wants to go, they can still go, take a ride,
Yeah.
ride a car. But for the people that don't have a ride, or don't have transportation, we're offering them that ability. If I want to stay till 7, I'll drive myself.
Mhm.
Okay,
And I'll,
All
yes,
right.
ma'am.
Okay,
What else
back,
you got?
back to the newspaper.
tell her.
We're closed on Monday, so I had the brilliant idea to ask Greg, the printer, if they're closed on Monday, and what do you know? They are.
I know.
No, the
So
world is
he
closed.
said,
Mhm.
I can, well, he said 2 contradictory things. He said, I can get you version 1 on Tuesday morning.
Yeah.
And then in the next breath, he said, I may possibly get it tomorrow, Friday, because it's all set up. I sent it in on Tuesday and they worked on it. It's pretty ready. If I get it tomorrow, wonderful. Get it Tuesday, I'll still do it. But I'm thinking about delivery. Of course, if delivery is held up, doesn't matter. It just means we'll get it later. But that's the story on the paper. The other thing is, we have 2 outstanding accounts, one since July and one since October. And I spoke with Chris and I told him this a couple of times. I want to go to collection, but his problem is, has to find an agency that will take small amounts. There are only
What's the
400,
amount?
455 each.
Oh.
But I don't like being out $910. I would like him, so he's working on finding somebody. Of course, not that they're looking to advertise again, but if they did, I wouldn't take them anyway. So that's the story on that, up to date. If you have any questions,
The small claims court, I don't know, here in New York, do they do, for an organization? I know, I went.
I don't
Yeah,
know.
No,
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 they don't.
corporations
No.
cannot use.
Okay.
force
No, it's
anywhere.
individuals.
Okay,
No.
Is the Yuko reporter a corporation?
Yes.
yes, it is.
Oh, yeah.
Yuko is a corporation.
Sure it is.
Uh-huh.
So that's my story and I'm
Okay.
sticking to it.
Okay.
Sad but true.
As soon as this meeting's adjourned, I'll go send it to you
Good.
and I'll send Melissa.
Good.
If you-
yeah,
if you-
and
If
Melissa.
you have collections, we send it to the lawyer and it goes to collections.
Well, that's Chris's department because I've spoken with him a number of times on other accounts.
No,
And
Chris can make collection efforts, but if you're gonna keep it up and try to get the money, you gotta be very careful with the debt, the federal law that
I leave that to him. I know nothing about that.
you send it to your attorney and you say, put this in collections.
All right.
You have to make a judgment call, how much is owed.
Is it-
Mhm.
It might cost more for the attorney.
Yeah,
It might cost
no,
more for the
well, I'm
attorney.
sure he knows that. He's in ham
The
and,
previous debt collector did very well.
Let me ask a question real quick.
Sure.
These collections that you got, are you adding interest on it from the time that they've?
They have been notified that interest
Oh,
is being
God,
charged.
numerous times. They
They don't
just,
care.
they just don't respond. They
Because they know
ignore
It's
it.
just time for you and me to go, no.
Oh, I did that already.
What's that? You did what?
They're on tape.
I called them up and I said, you owe us money. We
Oh, yeah.
emailed it to them.
More than
Said you owe
once.
us money.
More
And if
than
we don't
once.
pay within 30 days, you'll be out of the paper. And that, they've been out of the paper ever since.
We have a number of ads that we need new contracts on, which is important, because if you don't have a contract, something comes up. He said, she said. Anyway, there is one in particular that I've notified today. This is your last issue. If I don't get a contract, don't look for February, you won't be in.
That's the right way of doing it.
And that's,
We have reached out to this particular advertiser at least 5 or 6 times.
yeah.
That we needed a signed contract and she just been avoiding it. So,
I'm willing to solicit people if you give me a little idea to what to tell them, how much the cost or whatever.
well, yeah, I'll help you. I got cool,
No, when I
have a
tell you,
whole-
just take it over. But thank you for offering. Next.
Yeah, me and you both come up with it.
all right. Open discussion. David, do you have anything to bring to the table?
I just want to let everybody know, as you know, I talked to George Patel on a
Yes.
every week basis, and I talked to him. And he said he's having some physical problems. It's not, it's a little bit, he asked me to wish everybody a happy
Oh,
holiday
how
here at
nice.
Century Village.
Who is
And,
George?
Same to you.
Yeah, he used to be on a lot of committees.
He's excited about the Yankees re-signing Aaron Judge, so, but he, wonderful man, he served his village well and
Yes, he did.
on a committee.
He did.
And he's the captain now.
That's correct.
He's a who?
Aaron Judge is the captain now.
Oh,
Okay.
So that's it.
Dominic, anything else you want to bring to the table? Bob?
Happy Hanukkah,
thank you,
Merry Christmas,
thank you,
Happy New Year.
thank you.
See you later.
You forgot Feliz Navidad.
Feliz.
No, that's next month. Well, next month.
January.
is Dia de Reyes.
Yeah,
That's
right.
January 6th.
6th.
That's our Christmas.
Yeah, that's not small Christmas.
January 6th.
January, the
And
Epiphany.
that all they say?
Well, it's the day of the Three Kings.
That's
Yeah, that, the Epiphany. You got anything, Richard?
The agenda says 2023 elections. Is there anything to say about it?
Well, he,
I guess you weren't paying attention. Donald said,
And
we invited
Happy
the 2
Trump.
people that we've asked to be in charge of the elections
Oh,
to
I
come and
didn't-
address the officers,
Okay.
and they have shunned us.
who-
So would you like to make a motion that we remove them and you take over?
No,
Oh, okay.
Okay.
I can
All right.
say something about
Sure, go ahead.
the elections. My front page is going to be about upcoming elections and getting your bios in by
Yeah.
January 16th.
Oh.
So, it's right around the corner. It's come. So, that's elections. I don't know who was invited, Bobby and somebody.
No,
Oh,
no,
oh, I know.
John Gregg.
I know.
The 2
Okay,
people
I
that
got
have been
it.
in
I got,
charge.
yes, I got it.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
We'll bring them in at another time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's okay.
They
But-
did get an invite. We did
Yeah.
ask them to come.
Right, well, that's something else. I have nothing to do with elections. I'm search nominations.
Okay.
And I will be collecting bios, so gotta come. And then if there are any nominations from the floor, I don't think there were any last year, but if they are, that means I still gotta work over the weekend plus a couple of days to get those in.
Yeah.
But we'll do it. It's coming up.
Anything else?
No.
Joanne, you're next.
The only other item that I've sort of pushed off is, because the weather's been okay and we haven't had problems, is the phone system and the call-in system back out. I just figure it's a good project for the coming year.
Well, we received a contract.
We have the contract, it needs to be adjusted because we've eliminated some of the instruments, we don't need all that are
That's what I'm
in
saying.
there. So I just thought after the first of the year, we could sort of revisit that and.
Hey, Joanne, we're not going into the secret stuff. Tell them about Flock.
Oh, wow.
Look at that face.
A favorite.
She's-
I love,
That's a,
Oh, you have no
that's a
idea.
favorite.
I love this system. It was the-
Give us a report.
It was such a nice, easy system to put in. And we've had over 400, as of just before this meeting, 407,000 unique plate reads. So
407,000?
407,000 since the system
Wow.
was installed in the beginning of November.
Oh, my God.
So that's about, just shy of 2 months of data that we've built up.
Hmm.
Of that, 164 hot list notifications
Wow.
have gone to law enforcement.
Wow.
And
That's
we have
impressive.
now signed
That's impressive.
a memorandum of understanding, is that what it's called, Donald?
That is MOU.
With PBSO. And we can see every day, PBSO officials are in the database
Wow, that's impressive.
searching for those alerts. There's been a
Well, hits.
large
Hits,
number of
hits,
hits. And it, PBSO, and you could see on the graph, I'll bring it to one of our meetings. There's a graph that shows the hits. It shows all of this data. And you can see it just coming right down.
That's
they're-
impressive, really,
in other words,
really.
they've taken action. We can see that
Wonderful.
they've taken action. And now our hits are very small, just a couple of them, but they act on them.
That's
PBSO is in here, they're acting on them, and what we're doing is anyone that's on the list, PBSO has alerted,
Right,
so we don't have so many.
that's great.
I think it's a wonderful.
I think it's fabulous. Are you
Plus,
kidding?
Daniel loves it.
Oh, my God, he lives in it.
Because when he gets a report, it's somebody, either PBSO or from an internal source saying, my deadbeat husband is stalking me, or whatever.
You're right.
He doesn't have to sit there and, till his eyeballs
wonderful.
bleed. He just does the search and boom, in 10 seconds, he's got the answer.
He doesn't even need the plate number. He needs a make and model
Make a
color.
model of a car, he's very, very happy, which saves us a lot of money.
I know.
Because we
That's
had to
time
pay
that-
people. Right, it's-
Yeah, how many times does Daniel have to spend hours going through video?
Right.
Well, that's time that he could be out there,
Exactly.
doing his
Exactly.
thing.
He's out there serving other
Yep.
more useful purposes around keeping us.
Nah, this thing worked out better than
I
I
like when I
ever
heard the
thought.
system, but this is really impressive. I didn't think it was that.
The fact that we got 400 and something thousand.
Yes, 400,000 unique
Before
reads.
we set cost on our
Very,
pad, I think it's pretty
very,
interesting.
It's fabulous.
And
Good news.
my big thing is that PBSO is in it. They're watching it, they're getting notified, and they're reacting.
We get to
Very
see,
quickly.
we get to see that when they're in, we get to see who is in,
Right.
but we don't get to see who they're looking for.
Mm.
But we're
That's
gonna,
okay.
but we
That's
get
all
a,
right.
but we get a crime report every month.
That's
and
wonderful.
I'm-
I rather do.
I'm expecting to see a crime report where warrants weren't. They're gonna be serving warrants. And that's where you'll see the real.
Right.
I'm excited about
So
that.
I just think that.
Okay, I got John.
We're both very
He
excited.
wants to talk about the,
Wait,
election, I'm
wait,
open
we
about-
gotta wait till this, you can't do it here now. You can't do it.
No, I wanted
You
to,
went past that.
okay, John, let
We'll
me.
do it
call you
another-
when
we'll do it another time.
we'll do another time, yeah,
She's talking, then it's
yeah,
a German.
I'm sorry.
No, it's all right. I just think that having this clock system provides just a
No, no,
greater
that's
level
pretty
of
great.
security to our residents.
Absolutely.
You know,
Hold on.
that more care is being taken.
We're both
to
very excited.
prevent-
Yeah.
No, we're all
Everybody,
excited.
I know
You can't-
Daniel, everybody
It's
is.
wonderful.
But-
Now, this was a slam
Thank
dunk.
you.
For a really small amount of money.
That's great news to share.
So it was a terrific idea. Most of you know it came through the PBSO
Oh, no, we knew
department.
that. That's why we voted.
It came through the security
Mhm.
committee.
Yep.
And we acted on it. We looked into it.
Yeah.
And within, I don't know, 3 days, we had a presentation.
Yep.
From the time that the PBSO delivered their report, We had somebody here, presented the system, it went through the system. It was a no-brainer because it's a minimal cost to us.
Right,
We don't own the equipment. They service it, they update it, whatever information we have.
that's great.
And it's a help to this, to the community, down the road.
Also, part of this MOU, memorandum of understanding that we signed with law enforcement, is they also have asked to install additional cameras at our entrances to look at Okeechobee Boulevard and Haver Hill Road. When that's gonna happen, I don't know.
That's good.
But in my conversations with the people that are involved, the one fellow that sent me the MOU is liaison to Federal Department of Homeland Security. That tells me that there's
Wow.
federal money involved with this.
Wow, that's
That-
impressive.
You know, we should get a piece of that by getting more cameras, so, that'll be good.
That's very impressive. I'm excited about that news.
I mean, it's not very, like I said, it's from start to finish, it didn't take us 45 days to have it all done, which I think is,
Can we get-
nothing moves that fast.
No,
No,
that was good.
Okay,
no,
no, you don't want to do that.
no, he wants to put it in the paper.
No, we don't.
No, Rich, just so you understand, we're talking about it in very general terms. We really don't want the dirtbags of Century Village
Is this
knowing
being
about it.
recorded?
And they're probably not watching this, so it's semi-secure, but this is about as in-depth as we want to get with this, right? They would call it sources and methods.
Bob, you had your hand up.
Yeah, do you want me to call John back so we can discuss the election thing?
No, we're gonna bring it up next month.
Yeah,
It's not, there's nothing earth shattering.
He's willing to talk.
I know, but we need both of them here.
Well, he told me that they thought that this meeting was canceled, that's why they did not come.
okay, no big deal.
No
They
problem.
both thought.
We'll have them at another meeting.
Okay,
Did you-
I just wanted to clear.
Okay,
Time
is there any,
Yeah, just one more thing. We were talking about something this morning and you were going to ask the police at the delegates meeting. I forgot what it was. Do you remember? You were going to ask him something now that you didn't have to wait until later, and I forgot what it is.
Maybe it's something that shouldn't be discussed here.
No, it.
It wouldn't be asked at a delegate assembly.
yeah, no. The only thing was what I said before was, there be a change in the roads? Would the sheriff's department still, I
Wasn't
don't
about,
remember,
wasn't about the roads. No, I know. I just don't remember what you were going to ask about. So,
Okay.
It'll come up.
That's all right, don't worry
It'll
about it.
come up.
Discuss-
It
okay,
always comes back.
it always comes back. Any last bites for anybody? I'll entertain a motion to close the meeting.
Motion.
Motion made by Patricia, seconded by Bob Rivera. Everybody, Merry Christmas.
Merry
Oh, yeah,
Christmas.
happy
Thank you,
Hanukkah,
everyone.
Merry
Safe
Christmas.
trip wherever you're going. I know I'll see you tomorrow, but
Yes, I'll see you.
Oh,
we'll
yes,
all be
oh,
here
there
with
is a
bells and
lot.
whistles.
I won't be here.
Bells